Hello world. Welcome to Python Machine Learning on the Edge. Machine countdown begins. 0987654321.
Hello world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Robothought Zero to Hero series Python Machine Learning on the Edge. We are on lesson number 7, Dimensions in NumPy Arrays for Machine Learning. Alright guys, what is dimensions, right? Guys, basically a dimension in arrays is one level of array depth. You can call it as a depth, or it's called nested array. Okay, and it can be a 0 dimension, it can be 1 dimension, it can be 2 dimension, it can be 3 dimension, or it can be n dimensional, that is multi-dimensional arrays, right? There are various types and I'm going to show you how. So basically the nested array in NumPy, in Python and in Jetson Nano are arrays that have arrays as their elements by itself. Alright, so basically the 0 dimension arrays, or it can also be called as scalars, right, are the elements in an array. Okay, each value in an array is a 0 dimensional array. If you call it as 1, then it's a 0 dimension. If you call it as 2 or 5 or 6, still it is a 0 dimension, right? So now let me show you with an example how it works in actual Python coding, all right, using NumPy. So let me open up my Jetson Nano, and I am already in my Jetson Nano. So let me show you an example of a 0 dimension array, how it works. So let's create a 0D array. Say import, all right, NumPy as NP. Okay, import NumPy as NP, ARR, that is as NumPy as NP. What did I do? As NP. Okay, enter, and then ARR for your array. You can give any name, guy. I'm just using a random example. Equals to NP dot array. Now let's give a value, say 10. Okay, 10. Now let's say ARR, sorry, let's give a print instead of creating another dimension. This is a 0 dimension, guys. Okay, print ARR. Okay, close the bracket, and now let's run the program and see what happens. Oops, let me just enlarge my screen. Run Python file in terminal. Okay, you can see 10. So this is a 0 dimension array. Okay, it's pretty clear. The example is very clear. I hope you understand this, right? Now what we will do is I will show you what a 1 dimension array looks like. So basically an array that has a 0 dimension arrays as its elements is called a unidirectional or 1 directional array. Okay, it's little confusing, but I'll show you with an example, right? Let me repeat this. An array that has a 0D, that is, this is the 0D, the program which we wrote just now, it's a 0 dimensional array as its elements, okay, is called a unidirectional or 1 directional array, and these are the most common and very basic types of arrays. So let me show you how this works. So let's import NumPy as NP, which has already been imported. Let's say ARR equals NP dot array. Okay, NP dot array, and then in a curvy bracket and a square bracket for the array, let's say 1 2 3 4 5. All right, and then what we need to do, let's print let's print. What am I doing? Enter. Print ARR. Okay. Now let me run this program. Then you can see what happens in a one-dimensional array. All right. Run Python file in terminal. And there you go, 1 2 3 4 5. So this is the example I showed you in the previous video as well. So this is actually a one-dimensional array, right? Now let me show you an example of a 2D array, how a 2D array works. An array that has a 1D array as its elements is called a 2D array. Similar way for 0D I showed you 1D, and for 1D how the elements you are adding is called a 2D array. Now how it works, these are pretty much often used to represent a matrix, right? A matrix or a grid, or at second order of the tensors. I will get into the tensors topic later in detail, but just to keep in mind, these are all tensors. All right. So NumPy as a whole sub module dedicated towards the matrix operations called a NumPy mat, which we will learn about this particular function called NumPy mat at a later stage. Right now, take a look at how the 2D array works, right? Okay, let's say import. I have already imported NumPy as np, and now let's say np.array curly bracket and a square bracket 1 2 3, and then let's close this bracket and put a comma, and then another square bracket, create another array within the element. Okay, that is 4 5 and 6. All right, now what we need to do, we need to put another square bracket. Okay, this is to close the entire area. Okay, now what we need to do is print the array ARR. All right, and now let's run the program and see what happens. Run Python file. Run Python file in terminal. Syntax error. So what did I miss? I did put the double square bracket, and where did I miss? Oh, okay, I am sorry. I didn't open the square bracket here, so obviously it's not going to execute. So see guys, the syntax errors are pretty common, so you got to learn out of your mistakes. Good part in Python is it shows up the error exactly which line of the code has got the error. So it's pretty easy to fix. Run Python file in terminal. Alright, so now you can see there are two rows, 1 2 3, and then the second array 4 5 6. So this is called a two-dimensional array. I hope this example is clear, guys. Now let me show you an example of three-dimensional array. So what is a 3D array? So it's a simple, right? It's from 0D to 1D to 2D you had seen. It's the same way it's a 3D. So basically an array that has a 2D array with matrices as its elements is called a 3D array, right? You're adding those elements into that, and these are often used to represent a third order tensor. You saw the first order, the second order, and the third order of the tensor, right? So I'll get into the tensor at a later stage, what it is exactly. So let me show you an example. Let's probably create a 3D array with 2D arrays, both containing two different arrays with the values of 1 2 3 and 4 5 6. So let's see how it works, right? So let's import. It's already imported. ARR equals np dot array np dot array, and then a curly bracket and then we need to open three dimensional, right? So three square brackets, all right, remember this guys, 3 and 1 2 3, okay, and then come out of the bracket, comma, okay, and then open up another square bracket, in that 4 5 6, okay, then come out of that bracket, comma, and then you open up another square bracket, this is the third dimension, 4 5 6, and let's say 1 comma 2 comma 3, all right, and then come out of that bracket again, and the third dimension, remember we are starting from 0 dimension, so see 0 1 2 3, this is a 3 dimension, and then curvy bracket, sorry, the square bracket, 4 5 6, all right. Now what we need to do we have all the three brackets closed? Yes, we have three brackets closed. Syntax error, guys, you will get those syntax error even if you miss a full stop or a comma or a semicolon and kind of things, so got to be careful. Now let's hit enter and then print ARR. Okay, now let's see what happens. Let me run this program. Run Python file in terminal, and there you go, you have all the three dimensional from 0D, right? So this is how your three dimensional works. So guys, it's pretty simple and straightforward example. Only thing is you need to keep your syntaxes and stuff like that in mind, and then if you understand the concept of the 1D, the 0D, and the 1D, and the 2D, and the 3D arrays, it's pretty easy for you to build, right? And this will play a major role when we get into tensors, how to create the tensors. You will understand how you are combining those arrays into matrices and playing around with the data, right? The data can be numerical, images, video files, or any kind of stuff. So it's going to be magic, guys, and I'm going to get back to you soon. Thanks for watching me. Bye bye.